Every night at the Royale Theater, the 50s come to life. Grease. It's the longest running show on Broadway, Grease.
I spend my days just mooning, so sad and blue, so sad and blue. I spend
Here we go. Now we are in New York City, end of the 60s, which was incredible, going into the 70s. And what happened was, the show that followed was Grease. And I became an usher for Grease. And what happened was, they were auditioning for the national company. And I went in. And the final callback was 8 hours long. When I left that theater 8 hours later, I said, take this thing and shove it, you know. But that first day of rehearsal, when we met at a rehearsal studio in the Ansonia building up on set, they said, give yourselves a round of applause. We saw over 1,000 people for these 16-year-olds. And again, we worked, because of course, now they knew what they needed to know about how to make the show a monster hit. We worked hard. And we went on the road, and it became this, you know, a huge hit. And I didn't have an agent, and everybody else was, you know, kind of making, you know, a record book here, you know, getting their jobs, you know, from going around town. So I decided I would do something you never do in LA. I made the rounds. I took my 8x10, my bio, and my credits, my reviews from Grease, which were pretty damn good. And I would knock door to door. The one thing that was the best, knocked on a door, come in, I walk in, and I said, I'm in Grease. And she said, we'd like to take that, but Mr. Hope keeps us very busy. Bob Hope's agent. That was it. Fast forward, okay. Years later, I am on a float in the Thanksgiving Day parade, you know, going down to perform in front of Macy's. We were doing an animated thing. And who the hell is in front of us but Bob Hope? I said, well, there you go. And finally, you know, they called me into New York, and I got to come in and do it. And I replaced, yet again, Walter Bobby, you know, and so, you know, and as I said, it was something. And it was a tough transition, because they were, you know, it was seasoned pros who were doing the show that day. Who's this guy? What's this? You know, but then it was remarkable. And again, you have to know what New York City was like in the 70s. It was exploding. It was one of those things, it was the disco era, you know, and I'm telling you, you go to these clubs, and especially with the whole Grease thing, and what was interesting about it was Studio 54 was the big, are you kidding me, exclusive disco thing in New York City. Well, as luck would have it, Studio 54 and Grease had the same publicity agents. So our names were put on the top of the list. So we didn't have to wait in the line outside. People would be crazy. But, you know, to go in, and it was incredible. The town exploded. It was the first time in my entire career I didn't have to go out of town to work. It was the first time that I had a check regularly coming in, that I could count on it, that I didn't have to get an apartment with 5 roommates. And now remember, this was the beginning of careers, you know. But anyway, I'm doing the show, and one night, you know, I'm leaving the stage door, and this guy says, "You're Ray DeMatteis." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "My name's Patrick Swayze, but people call me Buddy." I'm irrelevant. And he said, I was a dancer, but I can't dance anymore because I've hurt my knees, and I want to go into acting. And I think the show would be a good thing. And we have a mutual friend, a Jesuit priest from Texas, recommended that I help him. And I thought, of course, I'll help you and everything. So I coached him, and they passed on him after his first audition. Sounds too Texan. We can't have Danny Zuko sounding Texan. Oh God. I go back to the Grease people and I say, you might want to take another look at this. I'll work with him. So sure enough, they cast him, and I worked with him. And I'm out. His first performance was a Saturday matinee, and it's a Saturday matinee, and the entire audience is sold out to like busloads of housewives from New Jersey. They are gone on him, absolutely gone. And so what happens, and he's really working hard and doing it. And
he's playing Danny Zuko.
Danny Zuko, right? And so for of course here he comes, and he is ripped into the, he's just looks. I mean, I'm ripped by like people. These women went nuts, and he really pulled it off. And the producer said, no, the director said, where'd you find him? And I said, he found me. And the producer said the magic words, he's going to be a star, And he was. And I had, years later, I was in Hollywood doing the Hollywood thing, and I get submitted for a Patrick Swayze movie called Fatherhood. And, and I told him, the director, he and I had known each other so much. I get cast, he is a small-time crook, and I get cast as his lawyer. I have one scene, and I get the call that the producer does not like the way that I have the setup for the movie, the way it's written. Could I come back? Now this time we're going to shoot it at a penitentiary outside of LA. Okay, so they fly me to LA, and as I'm in the plane, I go, what the hell was wrong with the scene? So I go, well, let me write it. How would I fix it? And so I did the thing, and I thought, let's try this. So I arrive the following morning early, at the penitentiary thing, and the director comes and says, well, he's on to his next project. We got to move fast. He said, I've done a rewrite and everything. I said, I did one too. He said, you did? Let me see yours. He said, yours is better than mine. Let's shoot it. So, okay. Now, Swayze comes in. We shot the thing. And he said, I'll give you a ride back to New York. What? The car will pick you up at the hotel. The car drives me onto the tarmac of the Burbank Airport. We fly across the country, right? Just him and me, and there was one other person. And we were, we landed, in Teterboro, I guess. And there was a limo on the tarmac, and we get off the plane. I've never flown in a private jet before. On a plane, and then we get off the thing, and there is the limo. And he says, drop me off at the Rigmarole and take Ray wherever he wants to go. I had never experienced anything like that. And again, you can, that thing about the facility of all of that luxury, no wonder, that's a very seductive thing. Well, the movie got wrapped. But I got to tell you, the preview of the movie showed with Sleepless in Seattle. And they always have that thing, the following preview with the green screen, but pop up to a scene of me doing as his lawyer, throwing the thing open.
You think you can stay out of trouble for 2 days? I'm this close to doing a deal that's gonna bring me more money than you can imagine, and I ain't letting nothing mess it up.
And you're talking about, now do you think you could stay out of trouble for 3 days? And of course he can't. And that was it. That played everywhere. It is one of those that everybody saw. You think you could stay out of trouble for 3 days. It was a wonderful, wonderful thing. And as I said, over and over and over again, I have been so fortunate, and people believe in me and who I am and my talent. And I haven't said thank you nearly enough. And again, the older you get, the louder the clock gets. That ticking. And if you're not going to fix it now, then when are you? And that's pretty much where I'm at.
Ray and I met in the fall of 1972 when we were both cast in the first national company of Grease. And we were roommates. Remember the Avery in Boston, Ray, huh? We were roommates so we could save a buck. Or Indianapolis, how about that? I remember pulling into Indianapolis on a Sunday, a very bleak town. There was no one out. I went for a walk, and in the distance I saw Ray, very small, way in the distance, but I could see him unmistakably go, and he made me laugh so hard when we were in Indianapolis. I love you, Ray, and I wish I could be at your birthday party, but I can't. So I just wanted to send all my love and just say how grateful I am to you for all the laughs we've shared over the years. I love you.
Honey, aren't you curious about what we're gonna have?
Oh, you know, it doesn't matter to me.
I know, but we have a little girl. Wouldn't it be nice if Lori had a little brother?
Bernice, as long as the baby is healthy, I'm a happy daddy.
Alfred, Bernice, how are you doing?
I guess we're a little nervous.
Listen, she's going to be fine. The results of the amnio, the baby's just fine.
Oh.
Okay? Now, you want to know what you're having?
Yes.
No. Fifth, whatever we have, we will love as much as we love Lori, huh?
Oh, well, I want to know.
Well, all right, dear. If it's important to you, what do we have?
It's a boy.
A boy. Yes!
Every day in school I watch ya, always well until I gotcha. To